They told me I was too focused on results, so I built something better. Now, they regret underestimating me. For nearly a decade, I had dedicated myself to my job, pouring endless hours into ensuring my department functioned seamlessly. At 37, I had built a reputation as the person who got things done. Working as a financial analyst in a major investment firm in New York, I had transformed inefficiencies into streamlined successes, turning chaotic operations into well-oiled machines. Yet, when the time came to reward contributions, I found myself overlooked, cast aside for someone who knew how to play the game better than I did. It started on a Tuesday morning. The email notification flashed across my screen, a meeting invite from my manager, Darren. I had anticipated this discussion for months. A senior management position had opened, and I had every reason to believe that my years of dedication, innovative strategies, and measurable successes had earned me the promotion. As I walked into Darren's office, I reminded myself to remain composed, to accept the offer with professionalism. Darren leaned back in his chair, his expression unreadable. "Olivia, you've been a tremendous asset to the company," he began. A hollow statement, one that immediately set off alarm bells in my mind. I knew what was coming before he even said it. "But we've decided to go in a different direction. We're promoting Emily instead." The words were a gut punch. Emily had been with the company for 3 years, a fraction of my tenure. She was charming, socially adept, and skilled at making herself visible in the right circles. I had watched her maneuver her way through office politics, aligning herself with those in power while conveniently attaching her name to projects others had done most of the work for. Still, I listened in silence as Darren continued, offering weak justifications. "You're excellent at delivering results, Olivia, but we need someone who can foster relationships, bring energy to the office." Results. The very thing that had kept this company afloat, that had made him look good. And now, it was a flaw? I let the words wash over me, masking the indignation rising within. When he finished, I reached into my bag and pulled out an envelope. "I understand," I said simply, placing it on his desk. Darren hesitated before picking it up. "What's this?" "My resignation. Effective in 2 weeks." His face paled slightly. "Olivia, let's not be hasty." "I've thought about this for a long time," I interrupted, keeping my voice even. "And you're right. I am focused on results. That's why I need to take my skills where they will be valued." What Darren didn't know, what no one knew, was that for the past 4 years, I had been working on something of my own. A proprietary financial modeling system designed to optimize investment strategies in ways traditional methods couldn't. I had tested it, refined it, and applied its principles quietly within the company's own structures. It was the reason we had outperformed competitors in the last 3 quarters, why our high-value clients had stayed loyal. And now, that system belonged to me. As I walked out of Darren's office, I could feel the weight of my decision settling in, but it wasn't fear. It was liberation. Around me, whispers spread like wildfire. Emily, likely already reveling in her new title, made a point to stop by my desk later that day, her tone artificially sweet. "I really hope there are no hard feelings, Olivia." I merely smiled, knowing she had no idea what was coming. The next 2 weeks passed in a blur. I spent my time documenting everything I had contributed, ensuring that I left nothing behind that could be exploited after my departure. On my final day, I left a detailed report for Darren, outlining exactly how much money my system had saved the firm, and the notice that I had secured a patent for it months ago. It was no longer theirs to use. The real satisfaction came when I received an email from Nathan Carter, the CEO of a top-tier competitor. He had caught wind of my resignation and wanted to meet. Our conversation over coffee was brief but decisive. He had followed my work for years, impressed by my ability to deliver measurable success. He wasn't offering me just another job. He was offering me a leadership position with full control over how my system would be implemented across their entire firm. The offer included a salary triple what I had been earning, plus equity in the company. I accepted without hesitation. On my last day at my former company, Darren called me into his office, holding my resignation report with an expression that oscillated between disbelief and desperation. "Why didn't you ever tell us about this system?" "I did," I replied, standing by the doorway. "3 times, in fact. But you said we needed to focus on team dynamics instead." His fingers clenched the paper as realization dawned. "We can match whatever offer you received. Stay, and we'll promote you." I almost laughed at the irony. "It's not about money or titles, Darren. It's about respect." As I left for the final time, I felt lighter than I had in years. 3 months into my new role, the impact of my departure became apparent. Industry news sites buzzed with headlines detailing the sharp decline in performance at my former firm. Several major clients had left, citing inefficiencies and poor management. Their once solid reputation was crumbling, and their stock prices reflected the chaos within. I received a message from an old colleague. "Emily is struggling to keep up. Darren is realizing she has no clue how to actually run things." It was validation, not of my departure, but of everything I had built and taken with me. 6 months later, my team had successfully implemented my system across multiple departments. Our financial models had not only improved returns for our clients, but had revolutionized the way the company operated. Nathan, my CEO, called me into his office one morning holding a newspaper. The headline read, "Major investment firm's CEO resigns amid financial crisis." My former firm was imploding. Darren had been forced out, and Emily had resigned weeks prior. Their failed attempt to replicate my system had backfired spectacularly. Nathan set the newspaper down and smiled. "We've seen the numbers. The board wants to promote you to executive vice president." It was a moment I had imagined before, but this time the recognition wasn't hollow. It was earned, validated by results no one could deny. Later that day, I received an email from Darren. "Olivia, I wanted to acknowledge that I made a mistake in not recognizing your value. The system you built was the backbone of our success, and we didn't realize it until it was too late. I'm no longer with the firm, and before I left, I made sure they knew they should have listened to you. I know it's too late to change things, but I just wanted you to know that you were right. Results do matter. Best, Darren." I read it twice, allowing myself a moment of satisfaction before crafting a simple reply. "Darren, thank you for your email. You're right. Results do matter. Wishing you success in your future endeavors. Best, Olivia." As I hit send, I glanced at the framed patent certificate on my office wall. Beside it was a plaque commemorating our record-breaking quarter. My phone buzzed, a message from a colleague. "Your old firm's board is looking for a new CEO. They're wondering if you'd be interested." I smiled as I typed my response. "Thanks, but I'm exactly where I need to be." Because success isn't about proving others wrong, it's about proving yourself right. It's about knowing your worth and refusing to settle for less. And if you've ever felt undervalued, underestimated, or overlooked, remember, sometimes rejection is the best thing that can happen to you. It forces you to build something greater, and when you do, the same people who doubted you will be the ones wishing they had seen your value sooner. Now, if you want to learn how to turn setbacks into success, make sure you stick around. There's plenty more to come.